Hello everybody, I am so happy to see you. I've been struggling. That's my new normal. um, Although I was down a little bit mentally recently, I hit a very difficult, what do you call it? Incident that I had went through, and it affected me greatly yesterday. That's why I didn't post a video. It made me feel worthless. It made me feel negative in every way. And in my eyes, I didn't do anything wrong, but the situation was still very painful to me. I had a therapy appointment today, and I was going to talk about that situation, but my therapist had to cancel due to personal things. But I'm okay. I'm not like thinking of bad things. These occurrences tend to keep happening to me. I was discussing it with my ex-husband yesterday of why these things keep happening. And he's very familiar with these things that's been going on. Of course, he had nothing to say. He usually doesn't say anything. And when I ask him about that, he says, I don't know what to say, which makes sense. So I've been trying to deal with it. Last night was a very bad, intensely bad situation. And I tried to keep my mind positive. I kept trying to think of positive thoughts. All I wanted to do was go to sleep at 5 o'clock. I didn't. I forced myself to go take a shower because when I'm low like that, I don't care about showers. It's the last thing on my mind, but I did it anyway. Showers and wind are two elements because of water. The shower is water, I should say. It has a cleansing effect, but our water is contaminated with all kinds of chemicals, but it's the mental part of it, of thinking this water is cleansing me. It eased up a little bit. Looking back right now, it is really unnoticeable. I fought through it though. I really fought through it. And this morning I felt a little better. Not a whole bunch, just a little. I even was trying to mess around on the computer a little bit, trying to learn Adobe Premiere Pro better. Didn't watch TV. TV was off. And that's not normal for me either. I meant to clean this mess up today, but my emotional standing says otherwise. That's not junk, those are boots. I know I've said that before. I feel like I need to clarify it all the time. It's not boxes of junk or empty boxes stacked. There's shoes in there. There's not a lot of room in this room. So anyway, I'm fighting to keep positive, and that's all I do here lately. This emotional damage of mine consists of something that was misunderstood. And when I was trying to fix that situation, they would not hear anything but what they misunderstood. And I mean, that's all you can do is just try to fix it. And I tried. And they asked for space. I gave it to them. But I was sure to be positive about it. But anyway, last night I had a visit. I was not in the emotional space, headspace. I'm hearing a man's voice. I was not in a good headspace last night to receive this visitor. I don't think it was my original bed thumper. I think this one was a whole different bed thumper. It had a different feel, if that makes sense, a different rhythm. And my other bed thumper, if I recall, it felt like somebody was standing on the side of the bed and using their hips to bump it. exactly the same length apart. And this one felt like it was scooting back on the bed because you kind of felt pressure, and it was on the side. And it felt like a pressure, like somebody is fixing to sit down. And then it felt like they barely sat down on the edge, and then they slid off to that doing kind of feeling, and they kept doing that. And I rolled over and looked everywhere. I just remember this image. I don't remember which time I rolled over, but I rolled over, looked, I didn't see anything. It made me wide awake during the visit. And then when I rolled back over, it continued. And I rolled over, looked up. And when I looked up, this is so strange to me. I don't know how this happens. I'm puzzled, actually, just sitting here thinking about it. But I think it was a man. And when I looked up, it had a band right here, because I seen it, and it lit up like here, and then the light strobed over here. It was like a trail because it left darkness behind it, like it was rotating. I hope I explained that right. And I stopped and I looked, and I tried to keep focus on it, and I couldn't. It was just like the whole being disappeared. I rolled back over, it started again. So I sat up and I said, "What do you want?" I listened and I didn't hear anything. And just in case it needed help crossing over, I said, "In case you didn't know or already know you have crossed over, please ask your guides to help you cross over in the direction you need to go for healing and happiness." Well, that didn't work. And I think I said it twice on 2 different occasions. And then this one time I lost my temper. I rolled over and I said, "What the F do you want?" And I sat up and I was looking all in the room for anything. And I said, "Tell me what you want." Nothing. I laid back down. And twice, I kind of know why I did it, but I'm like, whatever. I rolled over, knowing it was on that side of the bed. I rolled over quickly and I took my arm and I went through it, or so I thought, because I knew if it was a soul or anything that was dissolvable, it would interfere. And so, well, interfere with their energy, I should say. And it stopped. But then again, I rolled over, tried to go back to sleep. It started again. I rolled over and I did it again. And finally, I was so angry because I was not in a good headspace. And it was annoying me. And it felt like it was purposely annoying me. So I asked my guides, "Can you please take him away?" And I even think I said God. I can't remember. But I said, "Can you please take him away?" And they did. And I'm now thanking them because I forgot to. He'll be back. I know he'll be back because annoying ghosts have a reason. They either want to be a pest or they have something to say and they feel like you're not paying attention. I would do anything right now to have telepathy because I think that's a huge interference. Although I do have my intuition and pictures and so forth that I communicate with, but I wasn't seeing anything and feeling anything. I just felt annoyed. And then my personal earth side of me was extremely disturbed in a negative way. So once he was gone, I finally went to sleep, and I don't know if my soul went somewhere. I don't think it was a dream. I really don't think it was a dream. Sometimes I wonder though, and something tells me this one wasn't a dream. I was talking to somebody that I did not see, which is the norm. and I was walking down a corridor, and they were telling me, which I don't remember, what was going on in each room. And I turned and looked, and there were 3 kids on a bed. You know, the bed was lengthwise, and there were kids from head to feet to the end of it. They were all going with the length of the bed. And I'm stunned, and I'm trying to act normal. I'm not sure why. But I'm looking in there, and I'm kind of froze. I didn't know how to act emotionally at that moment. But I was trying to keep calm and look and evaluate what was going on. One body looked really decomposed. And it looked like it had 3 small jars on its stomach, which was bloated. And it looked like something internally from these kids had drawn up into the jars. And this one child was really decomposed, so it had crossed over. The middle child, same circumstance, but it was not decomposed. I think maybe it was on the edge of crossing over. I'm not sure. But it had what looked like fatty tissue in the jars. And then the one at the end of the bed was crying and scared, but acted like it couldn't move. And it had 3 jars on its stomach as well. And I cannot remember if those jars were filled or not. But this one was crying. And I want to say there were 3 boys. And I remember thinking, ritual. What I was seeing were rituals, which goes hand in hand to our missing children and what's going on. Something also tells me that the other rooms were different. They were not the same rituals in every room. And I woke up, and I remember thinking, what in the world was that? But I really don't think that that was a dream. I can almost guarantee you that. For 2 circumstances, it's kind of odd that I had a dream about what is really going on in the world. And 2, whenever I'm led in a dream, including my NDE, I always was walking with an entity that I didn't see. But I knew there was an entity next to me. And I want to say this entity was talking to me, but I wasn't replying. I think because I needed to stay quiet and observe. That led me to believe that that wasn't a dream. I feel that maybe it's hard to describe. I think my soul went. And I think that I was being led by an entity that maybe was a soul also, possibly. I'm confused about that. I'm confused because I'm like, what if a human was guiding me? I don't think that a human would be guiding a soul and telling a soul what's going on without somebody saying, who are you talking to? You know what I mean? But I can't comprehend that part. I do know my body didn't go. It could have been remote viewing also. I don't think I've ever remote viewed. Come to think of it, I have. And I never considered that remote viewing. Whenever I have talked to you guys about being like a trigger, I'll see something and then I go into another world. I'm assuming that that can be remote viewing also. Because I'm wide awake and standing or sitting or riding in a car when I see these triggers. And so I don't even think I'm driving. I think I've been a passenger when I've seen these. So that's remote viewing, I suppose. I slip off into another dimension. which is pretty awesome, I think. So a pretty good gift. I have been realizing that I have become of more acceptance in my gifts. I feel like it's time to claim them, and I'm working on it. I feel like I have not expanded fully. I'm not bragging. I hope you don't feel that. I really hope you don't think I'm bragging. I'm just talking to my diary, and I'm not one to brag. I even taught my kids while they were growing up, don't brag. Don't brag about things you have, because others do not have that. And they never have. But I'm not trying to say I'm all powerful, because I'm not. I'm kind of just letting you know about my growth, so to speak. I think that sharing this could help others, maybe. I'm really struggling on describing this situation due to my cognitive impairment. As you can see, I hope you see, that when I'm trying to describe something, I pause in between the describing. And when I'm talking to you about whatever, I'm not pausing. I'm just talking. And then when I'm trying to describe, like my gifts, I pause, and I'm like, how am I going to say that? You know, and I'm thinking about it in my head, and then it comes out. I think I have help in doing that. Maybe, I'm not sure. Or maybe I'm channeling. I don't know that for sure either. This time I don't think I am. I don't think I'm channeling. I feel that maybe my bed thumper, a new bed thumper, will be back tonight. I'm not 100% sure. I feel like I need to stand up in the bed and look at it in the eye. Because I don't know if it's taller. If I stood on the bed, if it would be my height, shorter or taller, I don't know. I don't think it's very tall, maybe 6 feet tall, where the original was almost 8. I need to measure these ceilings still. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let you go. I have nothing else to say or share, and I'm sorry. But I still am going to send each and every one of you love, light, and peace. Bye.